Mr. Aubrey Aloysius. Aubrey and Michael again have something in common. Both of them have been bankers, yeah, and they are now activists. Right, Aubrey?
Yes.
Aubrey is the cultural activist, the musical activist. Aubrey is going to speak about how he wants to make a difference in this world. May we have Aubrey on stage, please. So, Aubrey is also the founder of the Lamb Foundation. We are proud to partner with them. And what we're trying to do is go into schools and work with children, not just mainstream schools, but also government schools. And the whole idea is to create inclusion, where we bring all students together, using the medium of music to figure out how can we kind of drive the change and how can we make children more socially responsible. Yeah. Aubrey Aloysius, thank you.
Thank you, Jerry, for the opportunity and the privilege of addressing this wonderful gathering. I'm going to be sharing with you, Michael, I was very touched with what you shared. And I'm going to take off where Michael left. I'm going to touch on a few things. And I've actually, me and my wife have tried to implement a few things, and I can endorse a lot of things that you shared recently. Where do I start? Where do I begin? I could begin with my childhood. I was born and brought up in Bombay, Mumbai, as it's called now. And I've had the privilege, the fortune of being educated. I've gone through education and character building to the best that my mother could afford. My mother brought me up in the pure knowledge of God. She was a very godly woman. I must say it's exactly 1 year, 1 month since I had lost her. She's gone to be with her creator, her maker. But I just want to talk about the 3 points she has shared with me, the 3 principles that she has taught me, which is left, and I carry with. Number 1, never, ever give up. Number 2, never fear failure. And number 3, aim for the stars. With these 3 things I've held on dear, I wish to carry on my life and achieve whatever God has placed on my heart. I was fortunate as a young boy. I've always dreamt of being a musician. I was fortunate to have learned to sing. I've sung before thousands. As a young boy of 7 and 8. I didn't take up music as a profession. I went on to be a banker, an entrepreneur. I worked for a charity, and so on and so forth. But the childhood vision and ambition that I've had, that is that every child learns music, is something that now I'm so glad I met my very musical wife, and we can nurture that dream together. We have formed Lorraine Music Academy. Touch upon what Michael said. Believe it or not, with just 2,000 rupees in our pocket and just a rented keyboard in the drawing room of our flat in Gurgaon. We had moved by then from Mumbai. We had taken a major step to come and invest the rest of our lives in the National Capital Region because we believe that we want to make an impact on the nation. And we believe that we could do it in the National Capital Region and no other place. So we started Lorraine Music Academy. We started with 10 students in the drawing room of our home. It's grown since then. It's been a journey. And the resources did come. I mean, we've grown with resources, but we started with literally 0 resources. Okay, just to encourage those, and if I could just endorse on some of the points that we discussed earlier. We have about 300 students. We have impacted hundreds of students, sent them for exams, and let me also share with you and qualify that the students who have come to learn music are from almost 99% homes that are non-musical. You know what I mean? You have homes that generation after generation have learned music, but these are absolutely non-musical homes. So that's penetrating society through music. Music and art, I believe, can change society. Music and art can bring about a nation-building process like you can never imagine. Just to share with you, there are various empires that have been built. You could talk about the ancient Chinese Empire, or the Greek Empire, or the Roman Empire. I do not know how many of you know that the basic foundation of the education system of those eras were basically based on the way music was taught to the entire generation at that time. Whether they used it to get the best of soldiers, or they use it to get the best of administrators. They use music as a part of their curriculum, of their education. India lacks that bit, and I think we need to bring that back into the Indian education system. We talk at best of music and art as an extracurricular activity. Why can't it be co-curricular? Why can't it be a part of it? I always talk about the situation 25 years back when India used to be a beggar in the information technology or computer industry. We used to beg. I remember as a young boy reading news, India used to beg for supercomputers to the United States. 25 years ago, a few men with vision, the two little things, tweaked, just a little tweaking, brought down the import duty on computers and parts, and number two, made computer education compulsory. Slowly, starting from the 10th standard and downwards. Today, every child learns computer, right? Am I right? Yes. Also today, India is known as an IT superpower. Yes? That's what just a little tweaking can do to change a nation. And I believe music and art, just a little tweaking is done, can bring about a big difference in the way the next generation lives their lives and the way India emerges. Over the last 10 years, I've been hearing economists, world economists and bankers talking about India growing to be somewhere, maybe number 3 after China and US. And if we've got to train our next generation to be those global leaders, interacting with the best of minds from across the world, I foresee an image of green card holders saying, hey, I want to come to India and I want to possess a green card, you know, an Indian green card. Think of that, okay? We Indians, the next generation, interacting with people from various nations. How are we going to prepare them and train them for that scenario? If we don't think, the best way I believe that you can train them and expose them to cultures is through music, art, culture, food. Think about it, these are the basic things that exposes and educates a little child. To move on, we began the LAM Foundation about 2 years back. We have a vision to impact the nation. We want to bring this change. We believe that music and art is not just for the rich and who can afford, but also for the poor. There are many in society that are struggling for survival and they don't even know whether they're talented. We've got to help them to find their talent and draw that talent out. LAM intends to do that. LAM intends to set up a resource center for the country, for the nation, headquartered in the National Capital Region in Gurgaon, for which I'm looking for a 5-acre land and I'm looking to set up a world-class facility to facilitate that process. I just met an architect, I forget his name, who has the office in New York, London, and Delhi. And I asked him if he came to sit with a dreamer. And he agreed to do that. And you know, I'm sure as people get together, the vision and the dreams can be a reality. You know, I'd like to invite you to light up the world through music and art. They say a picture can speak more than 1,000 words can. And for the next few minutes, I'm going to try and remain silent and let the picture speak for himself. Yes, some of the work that we've done, we've been promoting music and art through the little that we've done. So far, we've not taken money from anyone. We've spent more than 1 crore of our own money in doing what we've done in the recent past. The time has come for us to ask, really welcome you to participate. You, your friends, your network, you never know, the whole nation, and citizens of the globe. This is Philippe Aubrey and his wife, Naomi Master's son. Philippe Aubrey was a young boy from Kolaba, Mumbai, India, a great musician, went on scholarship to Russia to learn music. Have you heard of brain drain? Have you heard of brain drain? We think, you know, the IITs and the IIMs were set up to contain the brain drain. You know, here's a brain drain. Philippe Aubrey, an Indian, lost out to this Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Dance in Glasgow, Scotland, UK. I wish he was here. That's the enthralling string quartet. We consider them the best string quartet in the world. It's come and visit us, and we bring them in 2013. Philippe Aubrey too, and all of these amazing musicians from across the globe will be visiting us in 2013. We did something called the World Music Hour, where we believe that every child needs to be exposed to at least 1 hour in a month of world music. This thought came from my 7-year-old an experience when I was 7 years old. I'll just share this with you. At that time, we had All India Radio. My mom believed that I should read the newspaper and hear the news. The 2 o'clock 10-minute news capsule was actually wrapped around the 1-hour English Western music program. And so from the age of 7 for the next 8 years, I was exposed to Western classical music. And then I discovered that me and my wife to-be had a lot in common. This musician plays over 100 instruments. Believe it or not, that's true. Have you ever heard of music being drawn out of a simple, humble carpenter's saw? But that's what's happening out there. I hope you'll hear it. Thank you. That's one of the ambassadors of the nations. This lady, Marilena Fernandez, another Indian that we've lost out to, in the process of brain drain. I had a chat with her, and like her, many others, she was willing to come back to India and contribute to our country's resources, human resources, training them for 5 years. One condition, Aubrey, if you can erect a world-class infrastructure for us to truly come and contribute, and that's what we aspire to do. Set up the LAMP World Cultural Center in Gurgaon. Music and art, an amazing story I can tell you about all these episodes. But let me just move on quickly. We had the privilege of performing, our students and us, we had the privilege of performing for the members of parliament, the Honorable Prime Minister and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi last Christmas, just about a year back. Literary art, there's a book reading of one of the world's best authors. Music from all around the world, music from all across India. We support artists from various parts of India. That's literary art through Thinkers Forum. India is in dire need of artists, musicians, writers, and thinkers to shape and build our next generation. Emphasis on music and art in today's generation is vital for the development of a healthy community. The arts are as important as reading, writing, and arithmetic, not just as a disposable extra. Exposure to music, we believe, music and art has a profound impact on individuals. We need to focus on the creative arts to build the intellectual, emotional, cultural, economic, and political capital of the nation. I shared with you earlier this morning about Albert Einstein's childhood story. We desire all our children to learn music and arts and emulate the life of the great son of the soil who gave us our national anthem, Rabindranath Tagore. Music must be recognized as an agent of social and national change and development. It is time that art ceases to be just an ornament. It should be an essential in the life of an individual. LAMP plans to use music and arts education to help children and the youth achieve their full potential to learn values that favor their growth and have a positive impact on their lives in society. One of the projects that we aim to do that is for every child who pays for a course, we want to give to a poor child free. We wish to offer instruments, equipment, and tuition through a network of after-school centers all across the country. Humble beginnings, we're still in Gurgaon. We're moving into our 4th center in Jan, but we have a nationwide vision. We will establish a national center of excellence in the National Capital Region, and then progressively establish satellite centers in each state capital. LAB recently launched a nationwide sing-a-song talent contest for the LAB iCONGO Karnaveen Chakra for music, and one of the winners is sitting right here, Ananya. Ananya, raise your hand. Thank you for participating. Can you just give her a warm hand? Yeah. And this movement, she's an ambassador of LAB. She's an ambassador of Rex from this day. And this movement will really, draw in many, thousands and lakhs as we go. Now you can make a difference with your simple noble acts of philanthropy work through LAB. Help communicate, well, in any way. We invite you to participate in our mission in any way you can. I'd like to stop here for paucity of time and hand this mic over to Jay.
Thank you, Aubrey. It was brilliant. There's, I think, some very good thoughts and some good ideas there. I also believe that music and culture is the need of the day to bring about social change, because somehow I think in our country especially, I won't talk about the world, but in India, it's very painful to see how we behave in sports, in sports meets. I remember taking my 7-year-old for the Zorawar. He was here earlier today during lunchtime, and we had gone for the Commonwealth Games. And every time an Indian was not winning, the crowd would start booing the people who were there performing on the stadium. And I was like, what kind of message are we sending to the world about what we stand for? So yes, we need to kind of create a culture of tolerance. And my humble request to you would be that whatever you're doing with the Lamb Foundation, make it inclusive. And I think that's one way of ensuring that we bring so-called children from the mainstream and so-called children from the low-income groups together. Because I think there's huge synergy out there. Yeah? And I don't think I can, the biggest example I can give is of a music maestro par excellence. I think he's much more bigger than Rahman. And his name is Eli Raja. And Eli Raja is absolutely uneducated. He comes from the Dalit community, the so-called untouchable community of India. Even today he cannot go into his village, without removing his chappal and getting off his car. He has to walk into his village. Even today, after having conducted, the only Indian to have conducted at the Royal Philharmonic. But Eli Raja comes from the so-called low-income group and has become the music maestro par excellence that the world recognizes today. So it's all about mainstreaming. Thank you so much. We'll take questions for Aubrey, please. Yes, Jagdish?
Thank you. It's great to hear that you have around 99% of your pupils from non-musical families. It's really, really good to hear. I'm myself a salsa dancer and just love music. So, but just to why I'm giving this context is that I have a lot of Latin American friends in Latin America, and what I've observed is that they are not musical families per se in terms of playing the music, but they all dance and play to the music. So there's a lot of music playing at home. What I feel is that through the Lamb Foundation, maybe there should be a more targeted intervention in terms of sensitizing the parents in the name of maybe exercise that they come out to dance sometimes, because we might be missing out on a very big influential factor influencing the children to go out and have music or dance in their lives. This similar effort has been done very well in Shanghai. I read a few reports about it. So I think maybe you could consider that in your Lamb Foundation. Maybe it will help. Thank you.
Thank you, Jagdish.
Absolutely. Lamb stands for music and the arts, the performing arts, the visual arts, the literary arts, and dance is a part of it. We're actually speaking with people to start. We have encouraged dance through our performances. We've had dance performers coming from all over. Dance is also, you see, Plato said this, Plato and Aristotle said this, just as sports is important for the development of the body, music and the arts is important for the development of the mind. And it's a very good point that dance actually becomes a sport form of exercise, So yes, very, very true.
I would just like to add to that, I think it's not just the mind, but also the spirit. The
Absolutely.
basic human spirit. Your spirit gets uplifted with dance and music. Yeah? So we'll see you doing the salsa tomorrow, Jagdish. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Lal.
Oh yeah, since I got the mic, I think I speak just a second before you. Aubrey, that's a nice presentation. I never sang, but of course I sang at home. I love music. And today, if you sit in my car, you'll hear music, a Turkish music, a Vietnamese one. The next will be something to Chinese, and then you'll see a Telugu song or a Goan song. I love music. Now, looking at the music in a country, one of the only programs I used to watch is the Saregama or the Indian Idol. Now, having said that, the Saregama or the Indian Idol has brought India together. We are diverse, we fight with Agu, but I think the only program which people watch in the Northeast and here in the South is the Saregama or the music contest, because music transcends borders. Having said that, Len, do you have any idea of such in the country? No, of course it cannot be a big as Saregama or something, but in your humble way, do you see such a format to bring maybe the so-called and the privileged together? If you have any idea, can you share?
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Lal. Dr. Lal, you may not have sung in your childhood, but you know, I believe we are a country of bathroom singers. And I'm sure you've sung in the bathroom sometime when no one is watching. Having said that, yes, LAMP and iCONGO, we have tied up together, and we've just recently, around Independence Day 2012, launched what is called the LAMP iCONGO Karmari Chakra Music. And we've launched it in 4 different genres to begin with in 2012. In 2013, we're expanding it. In 2012, we had the 4 genres, which is patriotic music, folk music from any part of India, to make it inclusive to any Indian, but I've also added from any part of the world, for any person from any part of the world who is in India, okay, that's folk music. The third is gospel, and you know, if you look at the Oscars, which is the biggest, shall we say, benchmark for awarding anyone who's musically talented in the world, is Oscars. And if you look at the, sorry, why did I say Oscars? Thank you. Grammys. and the ones that have been the best of musicians in the Western Hemisphere are the ones who've launched their career with the Grammys. And it so happens that whoever has won those Grammys through that process have always won it while they were performing in the gospel category. And so we've said the gospel category. And the 4th is pop, rock, Bollywood. Now we'll extend this. Next year we will have pop and rock separate, Bollywood separate. We'll have musical instruments, you know, separate. We will have dance performances, a separate award. We will have photography award. We will have painting awards. We will have literary awards. I mean, we are going to get into every form of art. Number 1. Number 2. I've been very, very encouraged with the, you know, with the participation of the contestants in this first year. We hardly had any time. We had the government of Goa as a state. I was very encouraged that one state has backed us up through the Kala Academy in Goa, and I feel propelled to make this a national movement. Does it answer your question, Dr. Lal? And I believe that every state would back us up, and then one fine day we'll knock at the doors of the center. But we do have that format, and we are open to any more suggestions to improve the format.
We'll also include debates in that, and I must share on a lighter note something about Dr. Lal, that Dr. Lal has become a big nightmare for Anu Malik and a whole lot of other musicians, because every time they lift a tune, he exposes them. So he's got vast knowledge about music from Turkey and God knows where all. And he says, Hawa Hawa was not a Pakistani tune, it was a Turkish tune, and he plays it for me, and I'm like, wow. But he's become a nightmare for all these guys. Okay.
And I've driven his car. I can vouch for the fact that he listens to all this music. Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Aubrey, for a good presentation. There are 2 small questions. Number 1 is that, do you have any plans to go to the schools and then introduce about the LAMP and then take them as a career for the music also as a career? Because I've been to many schools, many schools have invited me to give the career guidance when they're in the 11th and 12th standard about science and then how to become a scientist. And once they invited me to give a career guidance to the 6th standard, I didn't know that what to do with the 6th standard. But I think even if you go, at elementary school level or at high school level, this introduction about the music will be really great. So do you have any plans for it? This is number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 is that, do you have any plans to reach out the corporates? Corporates, the people are very tired. They go through many stress level. I think so music will be very good relief for those people in the corporates. Do you have any plans for the corporates too?
Thank you, Dr. Samuel Raj. 2 very good questions, and it's reminded me to, share on both the points. Yes, we have. My answer to both the questions is yes. Let me just share that and elaborate. We have something. I just shared one slide on the World Music Hour. Okay, we have got an outreach program. The vision is to every school, but we started off with Gurgaon and South Delhi to begin with. No, we went to East Delhi and North Delhi. So I would say NCR, since we're based in Gurgaon, the schools of NCR. Now, primarily we've gone to private schools so far. We've just about begun our inroads into government schools. We visited the Happy School in TLF1 the other day. They have 300 children, and our aim is to take 2 days out of the 5 days, their assembly through music, and come in to their curriculum. They don't have a curriculum for music, by the way. And that's a horrible story. Government schools don't have music and art touching their lives until they come into a college, and then they wonder what this is. You know? They feel like they're from planet Mars. But yes, to answer the question we have, to answer the question in a different way, I'll share an observation. Out of the total population of students and parents that we've interacted through the academy, we were very encouraged 6 years back when I'm a statistician, so I'm aware of the numbers. 5%, started 5 years back, 5% of my student base, parents who are honchos in their respective careers, okay, from the corporate world. Most of them double income parents, if you know what I mean, both ambitious. Both have come to us and asked us to shape, would it be possible to shape the career path for my child, which is totally different from the rat race. They were saying, we don't want our child to be the rats, okay? Would it be possible for you, if you feel my child has a talent, to start out the career path right now? So it's a very encouraging thing for us, and we've been sharing this as much as possible to the education system. But there's more to be done. There's so much to be done. We really need volunteers. We need people to stand with us and send out this communication. But that is a part that we've already chopped up. Number one. I hope that answers the question. But we need help. Really invite any resource in that direction. Number two, corporates. Music is a stress buster. Believe me. How many of you, after a hard day's work, it's been a hard day's night, I've been working like a dog. Remember that song? Yeah?
Go ahead.
Yeah? And how many of us, after working like a dog, gone back into our car, like Dr. Lal will say, or gone back home and switched on the music that brings the spirit back into us? How many can really identify with that? If music has touched you at the end of the day. Well, let me tell you, let me qualify. That music experience is a very passive one. You're just listening and doing nothing. Sorry. You're just listening and doing nothing, You're passively listening to it, and still that makes an impact on you, right? Can you imagine what will happen to you if you were actively involved in that musical process? That you learn to sing, you learn to play an instrument, and that instrument becomes your best friend, and you start playing. I tell you, that's a far higher level of musical involvement. So what we really want to do is touch corporates. How many of you are in the corporate world, or have been, or have friends in the corporate world? Even a remote connection to the corporate world. Okay. May I encourage you to just help us, because we're a humble team, small team, but with your help we can reach out to the entire corporate world. I want to reach out to the CEO and his A team, the owner and his A team. They're the most highly stressed out bunch of creative guys out there. They're creative, but they're stressed out. They need help. We'd love to reach out to them. Can you help us to reach out to them? Does that answer your question? Thank you.
Thank you, Aubrey.
Yeah.
You may interact with him over Mr. Bangia. Where were you?
All said and done. In fact, the corporate world people, they were not getting this benefit which they are getting now. They have gyms.
Right.
They have very sophisticated things which was not available in our days. But the problem is they are not motivated. Unless you motivate them, unless a networking of some people group is made, they will not be able to enjoy it. You well said that time that the music is on but your mind is somewhere else.
That's right.
And you are not aware what is happening. So my question is, since I am also resident of Gurgaon, why should we not make use of this apparel house and all that, which remains empty 90%? Why they should not reduce some rate? They should give this to people so that more occupancy is there. So you can keep this, motivate the people and make a platform for them. And there are more than 600 MNCs in Gurgaon, and you can have a good networking and it will flourish like a flower. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Professor
They had your vision. But anyway.
Professor Bange, thank you so much. The fact is, yes, that particular auditorium at Epicenter does remain empty many days. We've tried to fill it many times. In fact, we're trying to fill it on the 15th and the 16th of December. Please invite friends. We're having a Christmas Eve concert and a musical comedy drama. Now, but I must say this, that's a very commercially run enterprise. And you may say there's another institution that's built up called the Kingdom of Dreams, and even more highly commercially run enterprise. But the people of Gurgaon, the people of NCR needs something that is available to them, as you rightly said. And that's why we have a vision to build up the Lab World Cultural Center. We need 5 acres of land, we need the money for that. We need to build a world-class center, we need money for that. I have never asked for a single rupee till today. I'm beginning to now, okay? And it will come. But I'm asking because I put my own money in first. The 2,000 rupees that I first had in 2005, I put that down. I've over the years put more than a couple of crores down. Now, I believe that vision, Professor Bange, would come true. Yeah, sorry? Bangia would come true as we gather together. I'm so happy to hear you. And we do have some of the top Fortune 500 companies at Quarter in Gurgaon. And you mentioned 600 MNCs.
Yeah.
I just need help to reach out. One man can't do
I
it.
will give you a directory of that.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
So we are determined. We are a tribe of determined people in this room, okay? And we will reach there, sir, as we go together.
Thank you. We should unleash Professor Bangia on all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet you immediately.
Professor Yugal Rai.
Yeah. I'm Yugal Rai. Sir, we all know that when we go out of the country, we visit some foreign country, it is the Indian folk music that identifies us. It's not the English, it's not the pop, it's not the modern music. It is the Indian folk music. The moment you say Ramaya Vastaya, or you sing Avaramu, Avaramu, the people recognize that he's an Indian, and they all want us to listen to that Indian folk music. My request or suggestion is that with all the music that we are talking about, let us promote Indian folk music, because India has a plethora of folk music.
Absolutely.
A spectrum of folk music. No other country in the world has this. But unfortunately, with the forces of globalization, English is taking over on all languages, unfortunately. And Jerry has rightly taken the name of Ilayaraja. Ilayaraja is famous for folk music. All his songs are based on folk music. Raj Kapoor's all songs were based on folk music. So I request you that please do something on folk music, number one. Number two, we have 2 more days for this great convention. Can we start each session with some kind of folk music from one of the regions of the country? Let us start with that. We don't need any other stress buster. We don't need any other vitamin. Let us do that. That would be great. Thank you.
So tomorrow morning we have you performing on stage. Great. Thank you. So Professor Yugal Rai, please go home and prepare to do it. Whether you sing in the bathroom or the bedroom, you have to sing on stage tomorrow morning. Thank you very much. Pleasure having you all.
We need a song from Aubrey.
Okay.
It's not good to do that.
It's a hard day.
Hard day.
As long as you'll stay in the room when he's singing. Yeah.
Oh boy, put in the spot. I must say, I have a very bad cold and a cough. And
That's a nice way of discounting.
And I'm not-
We will not discount you.
And I'm not walking away from there with that excuse. I'm saying despite that, but do bear with my throat.
You have.
I love it.
And first, my dear friend will sing a folk song.
Good evening, friends. I'm not a singer. As I'm a lecturer. I can speak for 45 minutes.
I thought you would say I'm not a singer, I'm a lover.
No, I can do two things. If you give me the mic, I can speak for 45 minutes and make every waking person sleep.
Well, the mic goes off now.
And if you are sleeping, I can speak to make you wake up. So both the things. But anyway, my mother tongue is Telugu. I am working in Maharashtra with the language of Marathi, but I'll sing a song from Chhattisgarh. That is India. That is India. In fact, tomorrow, if my friend from Maharashtra, Panchal, where are you? If you help me, we'll sing a Marathi song.
Louding.
This song is sung in Chhattisgarh When a boy becomes young, he asks his mother, "Oh mother, when will you get me married?" So, and in Chhattisgarh, Bau means mother, right? So anyway, the song goes like this. Eri bau ka pehpanehram dula, eri bau ka pehpanehram dula, dula, dula re, eri bau ka pehpanehram dula. Ringat tingra mein pad ke fafula re, eri bau ka pehpan. सबने ताली बजाना चाहिए, नहीं तो मजा नहीं आता. Please, come on, let us clap. Eri bau ka pehpanehram dula, dula, eri bau ka pehpanehram dula. Ringat tingra mein pad ke fafula re, eri bau ka pehpanehram dula. आटे की रोटी मकई का सतुआ, है, 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 है. आटे की रोटी मकई का सतुआ, ऊपर से दो ठैया मोहला रे. एरी बहू का पहपनेरम दूल्हा, एरी बहू का पहपनेरम दूल्हा. Thank you, thank you, thank you रे.
Thank you, Professor Iyer.
And I'll just sing this song, it's a romantic song. In fact, when I met my wife, it was the first song that she taught me, and I sang to her and she sang to me. So, yeah. It goes like this. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Keep the love light burning in our hearts so true. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you.
Thank you, Aubrey. For a moment, his eyes were locked with Fiona. I thought he would go down the stage. Thank God he didn't do that. Thank you, Aubrey.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
So that's been an interesting day. We have a final speaker who's going to speak on education. Over tea, there were some people telling me about how professionally this entire back end of the program has been managed, and they were asking me how many people do we have in our team, and that so much follow-up is done with all the awardees, with all the fellows, with all the speakers. And I was like, we're a team of 350 people, right? Because we are a team of 350 people. And I think the whole credit goes to the team of 350 people who put this together, because those team of 350 people are just amazing. So may I request Hunar, Meenu and Bosco, who are the 300, and the 50 is over here. So the half, yeah. Please stand up wherever you are. And a big hand for all of them, because I don't think this would be possible without Hunar, Bosco and Meenu who be working behind the scenes. And it's amazing. Every year we put this together with minimum resource, human and financial, but huge resourcefulness. So thank you so much for that. Meenu is just coming into the room. So let's have another round of applause for all of them, please. Thank you so much. We are all here because of them. Yeah. So that's the 350 people that we have, and I hope that's answered some of your questions. But yes, we keep at it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.